Hello once again. Stream should be live. And last time we tried out Debian, and as I promised, currently I'm using Debian, and I switched to a different window manager called i3. And basically, like before, I was using GNOME. It's a desktop environment, which is all kind of fancy. Like you had it's just these fancy windows like in Ubuntu. And with i3, it automatically tiles everything. And so in the last video, I set up Debian in a virtual machine, and off stream, I managed to set it up on my actual computer. And in this stream, and after setting it up with GNOME desktop environment, I quickly installed i3 without any much changes, so that we can see it live. And I didn't record those moments because like I had to reset the computer, etc. That wouldn't be good for the stream. And what was different, there were, to mention about the Debian installation process, the difference between the virtual machine and actually installing it. When I actually installed it, there were few issues. I'm using a 4K monitor, and so when I first installed it, everything was working fine. But when I had to log in, for example, here in the virtual machine, the login had no issues, where I had to enter the username. But in my machine, like this part, but on my local machine, I'm using a 4K monitor, and there wasn't any NVIDIA drivers installed, and so it couldn't handle it. Like I couldn't enter my login, I couldn't do anything. That was my experience on this machine. And like with a bit of help of the GPT, I managed to, in the group, I managed to add this option that just says the resolution to be much lower, which allowed me to log in and actually install the NVIDIA drivers. And for the NVIDIA drivers, uh, yeah, I'll not go into details because today is the setting up of i3. But I managed to set up everything, and I'm using, even with Focusrite, I had some problems, but the solution was to just plug it in a different USB. So setting up i3. The goal to learn the basics of i3 and configure it to my liking, and we will start with just the basics of. I showed you like you can create windows here, and it automatically positions everything. How does that work? How can we set it up to our liking? And about the layouts, what I mean by layout, there are different layouts. Like this, it goes to full screen, and you can switch to each application, or you can go like this, where everything is together. We will see what all these layouts are. I just looked at the basics. Like I've used i3 before. I've forgotten most of the things, and I quickly saw just the actual basics, like what you just saw, like full screen, etc. I saw just the basics. But in this session, we will go a bit deeper than just the surface level. So what I actually saw is like how to open application. This is what I saw. You have to hit the Windows key and D, and here you can type on the top left. That's what I saw. And so, for example, I can open another Brave browser, and here this is open it below. And to close it, you can see that there are no close icons. So it's just Windows key, Shift and Q. It closes the window. And to open a terminal, it's Windows key and Enter. And another thing that I know about i3, I'll move this one. Okay, I can use the mouse to move a window. So I'll just, I'll leave it here. I'll even just close it. Because I want to move it somewhere else, but I don't know how to do that. So we will see how to do it. One other thing that I know is if we go to config, let me go to the home directory. So if you go to config i3, and there is a i3 vim config. There is a configuration file where you can configure to your liking i3. This is what we're going to edit. And for example, here you can change like what's the default terminal, for example. Somewhere around here. I don't know where it is. And that's what we're going to do. The basics and be deeper than that. So where will we start? The goal, the stream is, the length of the stream will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So first, let's see like an i3 wiki, Linux, i3 user guide. Here we can quickly find anything that we will need. So is there something about layouts? Yeah, changing the container layout. This is what we want. Split container can have one of the following layouts. Split H probably horizontal, split V vertical. Windows are sized so that every window gets an equal amount of space in the container. Okay, what's this now? To switch mods, press Mod E. So mod is like currently for me is the Windows key, but it can be any other key. When I started i3, I was asked which key should it be. And I picked the Windows key because that's what Debian recommended to me, because Alt key is used for other things. So I'm pressing Mod E. So this changes the layout. What does it actually change? To switch modes, the same principle of stacking, but the list windows at the top. Okay, stacking. Only the focus window in the container is displayed. Okay, so when I pressed, yeah. Okay, so mod W is for tapped, which is this. Mod S is for stacking, and mod E for this split H split V. Okay, perfect. That's what we actually needed. This was actually one of the tasks done, but let's actually see what the difference is. So mod S is for, like, what's the difference between stacking and tapped? Okay, tapped. This is the only difference that I can see. Look at how on, let's open a couple of terminals like this, couple of windows, and let's press like stacking, mod S. This is stacking. Look at how here on the top we have all of these windows, and let's try now tapped. So mod W. So this is tapped. They are not one under the other. They're like in the browser. So you have this extra space when it's stuck. We are missing some space. Okay. And mod E, we have all of them. Let's close these windows. But for the layout, like, let's go back to the nodes for the session. And here, okay, so what layouts can I use? We saw that we have tapped, stacked, and the horizontal and vertical layouts. But I also had, can I make a custom layout? That's what I want to see. Can we make a custom layout? Because for example, like currently it's a 4K display, and what I would want is for you guys to like have it as a 1080p resolution and to stream only that part of the entire screen. It will make everything much more easier. So do we have, okay, mod F is full screen. So it removes the things on the top. Okay. But isn't there something about custom layouts? Opening other applications. D menu. Okay, yeah. Mod D. And on the top, we have for opening some custom applications, like other applications. So another Brave browser. But I already showed that. Close in Windows, Mod Shift Q. Workspaces, we don't want moving, resizing, okay. Floating, Mod Shift Space. Okay, Mod Shift Space makes this floating window that I can move around. Okay, so we can use this, like in Windows, I use Power Tools. I think it's called Power Tools, where I managed to create a custom layout where, can I resize this window? Closing, using moving windows to workspaces, resizing. Can I go to the edges? No, I cannot go to the edges. Resize containers by using the mouse, grab the border and move it to the wanted size. Oh yeah, it works. It just didn't show me that. But on pressing on the top is just movement. It doesn't let me resize. Another way to resize floating windows is using the mouse is to right click on the title bar and drag. Oh, so on the title bar, it's with right click. Perfect. Now, this is what I want, like it to be like here, like smaller size, and me to just record this window, this part of the screen. But when I create a new application, like I don't want to all the time make it floating and position it here. So this is what I want, custom layout. I want to have here on the left and on around this window to have like other windows and to be automatically tiled. Floating, moving tiling containers. 3. Windows Theme 3. Okay, the tree consists of containers. Containers. Mod V. If you can change the layout, read V. And then open 2 terminals. Vertical, focus parent. Let's search on the internet i3 custom layout. Are they possible? I've been playing with adapting a script I found. I don't like it to be a custom script. I would like it to be like from i3. Sorry, this isn't really possible in i3 without some crazy against dynamic tiling window manager. i3 is a manual tiling window manager. What is a dynamic tiling window manager? Man, did I pick the wrong one? Dynamic tiling window manager. Which are the top 3 dynamic tiling window managers? Xmonad, Qtile. Okay, let's check out Xmonad. Xmonad. Four years ago, 5 years ago. Today, Xmonad is the best. Let's check it out. I've muted audio because I just want to see visuals. Okay, let's see dynamic versus manual tiling manager. What's the difference?
Live?
I refuse to believe it. I'm not even looking.
No, we're actually live. It's true.
Damn it.
So no more of your.
Okay, this is just some kind of a podcast. Okay, let's see this.
It's probably the best environment I've ever used, to be honest. It's a tiling window manager. I'll explain more what that is on a video on window managers. I keep plugging videos I haven't made yet. Jeez, I'm gonna dig myself a really deep hole here with all the stuff I have to do.
I want to first make this back to tiling, not floating. Okay, mod shift space and
It's
now.
been 8 years, but here we are. I'm gonna talk a little bit about tiling window managers. Now I'm going to open this here in PopOS with PopShell as an example of one sort of tiling window manager. Then we're going to swap over to a different one, the one that I'm actually using now. Okay, and then boom, we are into a tiling. Even just laying out windows is something that can be automated. So in the case of PopOS, right, you can toggle that on with Super Y, and then boom, we are into a tiling window layout in PopOS. And this PopOS layout system is, I think, fairly similar to i3. Now they're a little bit different in that in i3, whenever you, in fact, let me just kill all these. In i3, windows divide by default down the same edge every time. So like I launch this window, and then I split the screen in half to do two more. In i3, if I were to launch a third, it would put it horizontally again. Whereas PopShell uses sort of a Fibonacci dwindling scheme, so as you launch windows, it progressively gets smaller like that. However, i3 and PopShell are also very similar in the fact that they're a two-dimensional window layout on the screen. What that means is that you can navigate up and down using J and K, and left and right using H and L, or your arrow keys. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think H, J, K, and L are default i3 binding critically. At the end of the day, though, I don't use this very often, and I moved away from i3 to this, and I recently discovered why. So what I noticed when I was using i3, this is DWM. It's a tiling window manager, and superficially it looks a lot like i3, but it is structurally very different. And I find that it really works for me in a way that i3 never did. So the biggest, they get pushed on top of the stack. So this is the old window, this is the new window, and this is the newer window, and this is the newest. So as you can see, they keep just stacking up like this. And you can use J and K to navigate up and down the stack. And say I want to focus on this window instead. I have it mapped to super space. I think it's super enter normally. I don't remember what the default key binding was. If you hold down super and my build hit space, it takes that, bumps it to the top of the stack, and pushes what was at the top of the stack down. So it is completely one-dimensional. Now you can patch in ultimately spawning windows that get smaller and smaller. However, this is much more useful than the PopOS window because say I want to make this oldest window.
Okay, let's. I'm not going anywhere with this. Dynamic versus manual tiling window manager. What's the difference? In manual, user can specify where next window will be placed. Dynamic, use the algorithm for placing windows. I still want to use i3, so let's check out. Like, I don't think dynamic will be a solution for custom layouts, but I have an idea. Can we find again the user guide? Here it's about resizing, how we can resize windows, and let's change the layout to like horizontal, or maybe vertical. How to change it to vertical? Так. Okay, mod T. Yeah, I'm pressing mod D, but it's staying the same. If I do it on the browser, oh, I get it. I get it. I was pressing mod E on the Brave browser, but nothing is happening. But what I noticed is this highlight. When I press mod E, like now it's on the right, and when I press it again, now it's on the bottom. And this signals where the next window will be placed. And here it placed it below. If I press mod E again, the highlight is on the right. So when I create a new window, it's on the right. And if I go back to the left window, if I press mod E, it will just move everything from the right to the bottom. Um, hmm. So, how can we resize the window as it is? Like, can I use the mouse? Yeah, I can use the mouse. So, I was thinking something like this. And so another window to the right, but it to be like this. Yeah, perfect. And now, can I have... And now, can I have something on the top? Can I have another window that is on the top? If I press now mod E, it will just move the right one to the bottom. So we cannot do that. Let's close this one and let's change this layout to be like this. And now from here, let's add from the text editor another window. And from this window, let's press mod E. But why did it change for this one as well? Why didn't it leave this one at the top? Only for the last one I can do those changes. Yeah, this is what I wanted. But here, yeah, like this one to be like that. Why is it not letting me? So basically the layout I'm looking for is something like this. But this to be more... are there should be automated controls for resizing everything. So let's search for resizing. We're close to having a custom layout, and after we see resizing, we'll make it proper size. What I want to see is, can we keep this custom layout? Resizing. This is way to resize containers by using the mouse. I don't want the mouse. I want it to be faster. Because the mouse, it's really hard to grab corners. Like here. Really hard to grab it. You can also use binding modes to define a mode for resizing via the keyboard. To see an example for this, look at default config provided by tree. Binding mode. Default examples. Resizing. Let's see resizing again. Using your keyboard, you can use resize command. What I'm looking for is for key bindings. Are there any key bindings we can use? So to quickly find what current key bindings we have, we can just look at the config. i3 config, and this bind command is our like key bindings. This is some custom key like volume up, mute, or some custom keys. But this one, binding mod plus shift plus Q. This is the like to close a window. What I'm looking for is this like resizing mode so that we don't have to use the mouse. Let's search for resize. And yeah, mod resize. Resize window. How do we go into this resize mode? Okay. It's Windows key plus R. Okay, I am in this resize mode, and on the bottom left, I see this resize label. How can I use it? Okay, I can press the arrow keys. Pressing down increases this middle window. Up decreases it for some reason. But I can use also these keys like J, K, L, and semicolon. So J shrinks the width, and K okay, J shrinks the width, and semicolon grows the width. Okay, so I can shrink and grow it. Yeah, I want to grow the width, and I can shrink or grow the height. Yeah, something like this. How do I get out of resize mode? Okay, I pressed escape and it worked. Perfect. This is the custom layout I was looking for. Now, how can we move the windows? I want my browser to be in the middle. Move. Mod, shift, and the same keys. Yeah. Oh, we have an issue. The resizing is just for the window. It's not for the layout. No, we cannot have custom layouts. Like I'm moving this around. Yeah, I can move it to the left, to the right, and I can move it down or up. Yeah, but I lost my layout. I cannot have custom layout. Sadly, I cannot have a custom layout. This is really bad. The reason I really want a custom layout is because I'm using a 4K monitor, and having everything full screen hurts the eyes a lot faster, like very fast. And that's why I just most of the time my windows are like, how could I move this? Yeah, floating. Yeah, and right click on this part, resize it. Most of my windows were like this most of the time, and when I needed to use the entire space, I would just full screen them. This is much better on the eyes doing it like this. And I'm really disappointed that i3 cannot do it. And I'm thinking of, can I use a script? Could I make a script? But even if I made a script to enforce custom layout, even if I did something like that, creating a new window and moving new windows would instantly break that custom layout. So an idea that I have, can we like shrink the display so it's just in this? So to just say to i3, I don't want this top region, this right region, this left region. Do all of your tiling here in this part of the screen to ignore the rest, unless I undo it. To be able to like expand where i3 works at, to be full screen or in this little region. This would be my solution to a custom layout. But how would we approach this? The best place to see if that's possible is in the user guide, but it's huge. We will not read all of it. So is it possible to quickly Control F to find something, a hint, or go through the contents, table of contents? So what are we asking of i3? It's to not use the entire screen. Okay, can we search like Linux use part of the screen? So we can go even like before even i3. We can search for something before i3. Change. Partial screen display. I would like to be able to tell Linux to only use part of the screen. Does anyone know if I can achieve this with kernel boot parameters? I want to convert it to something like... So he's using a 1080p display. So width, height. So he's limiting the width. Okay, so he cannot use the right side. He wants to use the left side. Since the maximized windows will still fill more than the chosen screen, most of the window frames so that you can manage them. Oh, he's using Xrender. Oh, that's what we can use. But I think it's possible to do it even with the NVIDIA settings. NVIDIA settings. Yeah, so yeah, now with Windows key and the numbers, I can change to different work groups. So this is a different work group. It just organizes everything. That's one thing I remember from last time of like years before when I used i3 on Arch Linux. So we can open a terminal and we can open NVIDIA settings. So let's make it like full screen. So let's change the layout to stacked or the tabbed layout. So we don't have so we can have more screen space. So here in the display configuration on this main display, we can change settings here. Hopefully this doesn't break the streaming set. So what does he propose. I had broken the roughly right half of the screen. Therefore, I changed the resolution and other parameters until it fitted. If you want this to be on the right side instead, you need to shift it to the right. So one thing we can do is to shrink this. Can I scale this? Hopefully this can be seen on the stream. Hopefully this is not too small. One thing we can do for a custom layout is to just shrink the screen size and to move it. We can do that by, can we do it with the resolution? Let's try. Scaled. Yeah, let's do this. Oh yeah, and we can do it like this. And let's apply. Hopefully doesn't break anything. What happened? Confirm. Cancel. It didn't work. It didn't work. It just scaled up everything. It just scaled up everything. Okay, is the stream okay? The stream looks okay. Fine. Now, what does he use? He uses transform. Uses a transform. Do we have transform here? Make this primary display. Advanced. Yeah, changing the resolution. Just zoomed in everything. Let's change it back to 4K. Change it back to 4K. Okay, and now let's see if we can transform it. What is this viewport in? This defines the width and height in pixels of the region that should be displayed from the desktop. This defines the width and height and offset of the output region, the raster space. Okay, so for width, let's push it 100 pixels. What will that do? And let's make it shorter by 100 pixels. And I cannot apply it. Okay, let's bring it back. So we have to change here. Plus 100. And here, 700. Apply. Mm. It didn't work. I wanted here plus 100. Let's keep this how it was. Didn't work. Look at how this is like plus the entire width. So this is where it starts off. For some reason, now the displays are not all right. How to fix it? This display is not all right. This right one. I broke it. Can I make some quick change? And we will just move on. It looks all right. Looks all right. But for some reason, not fully okay. Okay, this fixed it. Yeah, I think I should leave this for some other time. Like, we saw that custom layouts, we cannot do custom layouts. We cannot do custom layouts. Where is it? Okay. We cannot make custom layouts. We can have stacks, tabbed, and vertical or horizontal layouts. To move windows around, we can use like the Windows key, Shift, and the JK, L, and semicolon. That's how we move windows around. So we can close this one. Yeah, like this. So that's how we move. We saw which layouts we can use. No, we cannot use the custom layout. The idea that I had, I'll do it off stream because I'll probably have to restart, and that will not be okay doing it on the stream. The other, okay, from here on out, see other i3 YouTuber have set it up for inspiration. Find i3 config examples. Okay, this is the inspiration page. Inspiration. Change status bar. Change, okay, this is a priority. Change the status bar. Change the status bar is this below, because it has some like all kinds of information here, like the local IP, like the battery. This is for laptops. I don't have a laptop. It has the time, RAM, and like the hard disk space. And I don't know the rest. change the default terminal. This is the current terminal. I want to change it to something else because it's like, look at it. It's like white, like it's in light mode. I want a darker mode. Instead a cool desktop background. Because if we go to another workstation, look at it. This is like what you get when you start i3. Nothing. Like we will set up some kind of a background. This will be our priority. And then as inspiration, we'll see other YouTubers and other i3 configs. See if we can do something more. But before even all of this, there's one issue. When I move the mouse, it changes which window is like focused. And this is a problem because when I want to type here, for example, typing, if I move the mouse, now I cannot type there. Now I am in control of this window. And I remembered from like using i3 before that we can change it from the configuration. So how can we, how was full screen mode? What? I'm doing the tapped or stacked and it's doing it here below. It's not doing it in the entire space. Oh. So if I, how to move? Yeah, so if I want to do it for everywhere, I have to do it from the topmost window. And it does it for the, okay, so it's like a tree with parents. And if I change this one, it changes all the others below it. But if I did it right here, like to have tabs, it did it for its like child components. So here I can, how can I switch the tabs? Okay. What? How can I? Okay. So doing Windows and semicolon fix the next tab, but Windows and J fix the previous tab. And if I can go up to this middle one and I can change the layout again. I'm trying Windows W or Windows S for stacked and for tapped, and it's not doing it there. Or Windows E to change it to like horizontal, but still not doing anything. Yeah, that's weird. What? So inside of here, we can have like multiple windows. What? Yo, hello. We can have multiple windows. How do I go back? Oh, I have to do it multiple times. This is useful. This is useful, but I don't need them right now. Okay. Oh, okay. I've learned how to move around to create windows. Like it can be quite a mess when creating all kinds of. Like you cannot. What we saw is that we cannot make custom layouts, but we can change a lot of things with the existing layouts. Okay, so the focus thing. Let's change it so when we hover the mouse, it doesn't change the focus. So we'll go in the config file. And if I search focus, Is there something about the mouse? Mouse? Nothing about the mouse. We can just quickly search. We can quickly search i3 focus do not follow the mouse. We need the user manual. Where's the user manual? Yeah. Focus. Focus follows mouse. Do we have this mouse? No, we don't have it. So yeah, we will set this as no. And we have to put it in the config. Yeah, here. We have to put it here, but we don't have like I copied it, but I cannot paste it using Vim. If I use Vim, I would have to do some changes. So I'll use a different one. Nautilus in config i3, and we'll open it with a regular text editor. Yeah, now we can copy paste. Copy, paste. Now you can see it's still doing it, but that's because we have to restart. We don't have to restart everything. We have to restart just i3. I think that was with Shift Windows R. And look at how the mouse is on another window, but I can still type in another window. Okay, perfect. Now, change the status bar or change the default terminal. Let's change the default terminal. Let's install sudo apt install. I think it was a popular terminal. And if we type it here, this is the terminal. This is what we want to use because it's a dark theme. So we'll go to Vim, config, i3, and terminal. Start the terminal, and here we'll change it to Kitty. It's still opening the previous terminal that i3 comes with, but if we restart, and now it works. Now it works using this new terminal. Okay. Done. Doing. Okay. Change default terminal. It's done. Now change the status bar. Let's change the status bar. How to move to another window? Okay, Windows and semicolon. Windows and semicolon. Now, i3 status bar configuration. i3 status. Is i3 status started from the configuration? Vim. Let me stop the desktop audio. i3 config. Can I increase the font size? No. Let's search how to increase the font size so you can see it. For next time, like one annoying thing now with changing the terminal is if I bring back the desktop audio, can you hear it? Like, yeah, this thing. I'll do a to-do for next time. Remove the annoying terminal sound. But for you guys, I'll just mute the desktop audio. Now for the font size, it's a priority to change it right now so you can see it. Terminal, change font is for Kitty. Kitty, change font size. It's probably a configuration. Control Shift. Control Shift. Control Shift. Okay, perfect. This is just so you guys can see. What were we doing here? Let's go back to the to-dos. Change the status bar. Change the status bar. Okay, how to go back again? Man, this will take some getting used. For the status bar, I saw here people talking about i3 status. Yeah, this thing, i3 status. And I just wanted to see in the configuration, do we have i3 status here? Start i3 bar to display a workspace bar. Close the system information, i3 status. So status command, i3 status. i3 bar. We don't have i3 bar anywhere else. i3 status. Use to adjust volume. Okay, let's read up on i3 status. How can we configure it? The basic idea is that you can specify which models should be used. You can then configure each model with its own section. And where can we change this? Where can we change this? Like this should be a text file somewhere. See below for a complete reference. Okay, this is just a reference, but they are not telling us where it is. Example configuration. This is just how to configure it, but I want before that where it should be. Okay, can we alt tact before that? This is where to configure it. So it should be probably in the cd config ls. Do we have i3 status here? No, we don't. If we search for config, yeah, okay. Specify some alternative configuration path. By default, i3 start looks for configuration files in the following order. So we can see, we can copy whichever one it currently is using and just move it to the config i3 status. We don't have i3 status folder. Let's make one. What did I do? I pressed Windows H. Oh, this should be for horizontal. Windows W changes back to tapped. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to move to the right. What were you doing? Yeah, i3 status. We'll create the folder. make dir i3 status. cd i3 status. And we don't have anything inside. We need the configuration. Let's make a terminal here. And let's do it like that. And look at how here in this tab, we have all of these. And moving more to the left, continues to the other ones. It's really helpful. It's really cool way to organize everything. Oh yeah, before that, we just have to set for next time. Have screen be smaller size moved off stream. So for the configuration. For the configuration, we have to check these options. So right now we are in home directory. Let's increase the font size. And let's look at we know that we don't have it in config. And we don't have it in the home. So we have to search in etc folder and either of the two. Okay, so let's see where it is. So for sure etc. Do we have xdg i3 status? No. i3 status. We don't have it even like this. Oh, because I'm using ls. Vim etc i3 status conf. Okay, we have it here. Do we have the other one? etc xdg i3 status. i3 status. I'm pressing tab for auto completion, but nothing happens. So that's the one. We will copy it. We will copy this into home config i3 status. And let's change it. Okay, now we can change it. Now, this is just so we can change the status bar below. So let's go back to the configuration. Yeah, we have the kind of the same. The basic idea, you can specify which modules should be used. Modules. So each of one of these, I suppose, is a model. Or each one of these is a model. This is the order which one comes for each. Okay, IPv6. I assume this is the first one. Let's delete it. Let's save. Let's restart i3. Nothing happened. So let's remove it from here. Like, what did we remove? IPv6. Yeah, that's what we remove. Oh, for models. I was wondering if it's this or this. But IPv6, if I search for it, doesn't find it as one of these. So these ones here are models. And some of them maybe are here for more information, more setup, I suppose. Like if we go on wireless, yeah, wireless, Ethernet. So if we want to configure IPv6, it would be like, I assume it's like this, IPv6. And then maybe just like this. So that's our model. But we removed it. We removed it. And nothing changed. Even if I restarted i3. So what we will do just to experiment, is to sudo vim in the what we copied, 3 status code. And let's delete, comment it out here. And let's restart. And that worked. So the problem is that it's currently like using this file, and upon restart, it will start using the other one. So we'll just change it here by commenting, not deleting. We don't want wireless, Ethernet, battery, disk we don't want, load we don't want, memory we don't want, but time we want. Save, restart, and now we on the bottom right we just have the time. And what was the goal? The goal, change the status bar. Yeah, we changed it. And let's copy these configurations and we'll replace our local one. It didn't work. Okay, we'll just like comment it here as well. Okay, we changed the status bar. What else? Set cool desktop background. Cool desktop background. Cool this. Oh, another thing should be done is man, I accidentally moved everything. Happened. Okay, this is the session. This is, where did I move it? Yeah, like that. Okay, everything is like separate. What I could do for a to do for next time was as well, I forgot what it was. And set big font by default, because for the terminal it continues to change even if I set it. If I set the font bigger in the terminal, it next time it quickly changes back. Oh, and here let's open this from the new terminal. Let's move it to the left, and here Vim in where? Documents? Session. Yeah, and let's increase it. Yeah, every time I have to increase the font. So for next time, I should set it to be big by default. I was going to set something else, but I forgot. So for set a cool desktop background. i3 set background. Background. What can we use? Nitrogen. Uses nitrogen. So nitrogen. Sudo sudo apt install nitrogen. We are installing nitrogen. And if we open it, and what happened? I need images. Preferences. Directories. We need to add directories. So we need to pick where can we find cool backgrounds? This top wallpapers. I think like that YouTuber. What was his name? What was the YouTuber? X Window tiling Linux DF. I think it was called DF. DistroTube. DistroTube. This guy had backgrounds. This guy had backgrounds. Where? I think it was like a GitLab. GitLab and DistroTube wallpapers. He had cool wall like this. Yeah, this thing. Oh, so we will need Git. Git. Do we have it? Help? No. Sudo. Let's use this one. Sudo apt install git. And we can download it. ls. So in pictures, we'll make a folder wallpapers. No, if we use git clone, how can we paste? Oh no. Control Shift V pasted it. And the folder will be called wallpapers. Papers. And we'll use this folder for nitrogen. Oh, as it's downloading, I'm seeing in OBS like dropped frames, like because of the network, just because it's downloading. So hopefully the stream is doing well. Man, this guy has quite a lot of wallpapers, like 650. Hopefully they are like safe for work wallpapers, like I don't want any issues. And now we go to nitrogen and preferences, add, and in pictures, wallpapers, select. Okay. And here they are all of the wall. Like, is there dark mode? Tell me there's dark mode. Okay, no dark mode. Let's pick this one. What happens? Nothing happened. Set it. I want to set it. Why? Not like that. Full screen. Screen 1. I think full screen means like everywhere. Oh, they are not 4K. But they should be stretched. right? Health. And let's get back to this. Yeah, scaling them works now. Yeah, we have backgrounds. Man, these here images are really tiny. I cannot pick one. Just water. Here, let's pick this one. Let's pick this one. Okay. And what will happen if I close this? Do I lose the? No, I don't lose it. Don't lose it. And we have I'll hide this because we don't need it. We have cool desktop background. And that was the most important part, but this is like kind of a stretch goal to see some kind of inspiration from other people. One person that uses i3 is Primagen. Don't know which channel it should be. Let me turn on the volume.
Losing with AI, like
Yeah, you should be hearing that. Okay, Mr. Primagen, what is your i3 setup? Does he have like i3 Primagen? My developer workflow, how I use i3. Perfect. My dev setup is better than you. Okay, sure. Of course it's better than mine. What else? Your editor Mother? No. Okay, and let's see like i3 config example. This playlist.
All right, it's been
This guy has like paddings between his windows. That's one difference.
a long time since I've actually done a video on my window manager. It's been like over a year, and people are doing these videos all the time. Why am I not doing them? All right, I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be a showcase of my window manager, all the fancy.
What we're looking for is inspiration for our configuration. We will not watch the entire video, just parts to see if we can quickly find some interesting parts.
That I have. Of course,
Oh, his windows are transparent. We will not use that.
Key on this keyboard is bound to
This padding between his windows, I don't know. I don't think it's a priority, but look at this status bar above. I want to find out what that is because it looks cool.
something, because it's all about minimizing the difference between mind and matter. Every single thing, every little operation you want to do should be a little.
I'll copy this link. Okay, I'll look Smith because we don't have copy and paste yet. Oh, yeah. We need to add global copy paste for Vim. Get what was his name? Luke Smith. What happened? Get Luke Smith's status, like top status bar, because it looks cool. I'll do it either off stream or in another stream.
Why not just bind it to a key? That's I'm sorry, that's just my way of thinking about it. So anyway, nowadays, what's the big difference? The big difference is now I've been using DWM. I've been using it for a year. I love DWM. So I want to talk about my configuration of it, which if you use my config of i3, all the stuff in i3 is in my build of DWM, just some extra stuff as well. Okay, so at a basic level, let's say you just turned on, you don't know what any of these DWM, you don't know what any of this stuff is. At a basic level, this is a tiling window manager. What that means is if I bring up windows, if you can have terminal windows.
Okay,
all right, so what's the big...
He's explaining what a tiling window manager is. We don't need that.
I don't know. Well, we'll do the classic of modifying the config for DWM in the DWM video. So let's say I'm working on something here.
He has these lines on the left, but that's for our series on NeoVim. We don't care about that right now.
idea behind DWM is windows should be ordered based on how important they are to you. So this window on the left is the one that I most recently spawned, most recently been modifying. It is going to be biggest, where it's called the master window. All the windows on the right, which you can cycle through, notice that I'm cycling through my windows with J and K, but all the windows on the right, they're going to be slave windows, okay? So they're going to be less prominent, they're going to be less visible. That's why they're a little smaller. Now at any point in time, I can say, okay, well I have this audio controller highlighted. I can press super and space to bring it to the most prominent position, or super space to switch it, the most prominent window and the one right behind it. So that is a nice, that's basically the idea behind it. So you're going to be moving, let's say, take the example of my webcam. Let's say I want that to be prominent. I press space, it goes to the top, and everything else gets moved down in the stack. Okay, this sounds a little obscure and arbitrary, and if you're an i3 user, you're like, oh, this is confusing, look, oh, it's so complicated. Okay, no, just try it. Just try it in real life, because
that's really cool. Like he doesn't have a custom layout setup. He just has a primary window and everything else to the right, and he quickly can move any one of those as a primary window. What we can do is let's change to here. Let's create a couple of windows, and we can, okay, let's close them. Let's change to horizontal. No, let's change to, yeah, like this. And what our thing can be is like the top one can be the primary window, and the ones below it, how should it work, man? I want like he has it here, like he has the primary to the left. I want the same thing, but the primary to be on top. Will it be better like that? Oh, okay, let's replicate his setup. We have a primary here, and we can set, what is it? It's different. I'm laughing about this because if I open like another Brave browser, and here if I do, oh, it's the same here. Vertical. Oh, okay. I found out what the issue is. So we have to press here Windows and V or H. V? No, H. H. V. Yeah, V. So let's close this one. Close this one. V. Yeah, that's what he has. This is what he has. And to the left is the primary one. To the left is the primary one. And all of these are like some windows. And at any moment he has in the configuration, for example, I can make this the new primary one. And what I want is man, it's so confusing. Yeah, like this. So I want the same layout, but this to be on the top and this to be, fuck. like that. So let me close these ones and this one and this one. Yeah, okay, we did it. Yeah, as an alternative. And they will go just to the top. Or we can do, let's move this to the top. How can we move? How was the movement? Yeah, like this. And we go below and yeah, to the left. And here they are. No, we want this to be below. Let's move it here. Let's move it like this. Oh, we cannot. I was trying to do Control Z. We cannot. Man, one thing like I think it will be helpful for you guys if I have on the screen what I'm pressing right now, because I cannot, for the life of me, say every time what I'm pressing. Yeah, like what this guy has. Okay, we learned how to, at least I learned how to do this layout.
This is actually exactly the layout that is most useful when you're actually doing stuff, because the window that you're using is automatically most visible, and then windows are more or less ordered in which ones you've edited recently. That's the nice thing about it, okay? Now, if you don't like the default layout, the great thing about DWM is it comes with multiple layouts that you can easily add, okay? So this is the default layout. It's bound to Super T, but it's the one that comes out by default. If I press Super Shift T, here's an alternate layout where the master window is still on top. Or, well, it's still on, and now it's on top, and the slave windows are on the bottom. You can still cycle through these windows, do
Yo, what?
out by default. If I press Super Shift T, here's an alternate layout where the master window is still on top.
He can move it. Like what I struggled here for hours, he can do it like with one key press. Where was it? It was in another. It was here, and like to the bottom, and here to the right. Yeah, this thing. Look at how our primary. Oh, and let's resize. We need to shrink. Yeah, we need to grow this one. Yeah, like this. Yeah, we can do it like this as well. Yeah, so going from here to this being to the left as the primary one. He did it really quickly. I don't know how, but I can get accustomed to doing it like this. Yeah, but I'll see with my own solution what I can do.
Or, well, it's still on, and now it's on top, and the slave windows are on the bottom. You can still cycle through these windows, do the exact same thing. Dwindle, I think, is what this one's called. So you have different layouts for your different settings, and I should be clear. Let me bring my face to most prominent position. All of my layout bindings, I like binding to, like, I think it's T, Y, U, I. All of them are right next to favorite, where you have the master window in the middle, and all the other windows are on the side. So all of these keys, you know, T, U.
Okay, so the struggle with having a custom layout where I said we cannot do it, I think it can be possible where you just define how the master window should be like. So the setup that I showed is literally like that's where the master window will be. Like I want it as a custom layout. Like let me do it as floating window. I want it as a layout, like to have a window here and windows around it. That's what I wanted. So we could do it like one window here, and to the right to have one window here, one window here, and to the right of all of these to have window here. And I thought that wasn't possible because like if you move one of the windows, like I can manage to set up that custom layout once, but if you move one window or resize one window, everything messes up. But what he suggests is to just set one of the windows as primary one, like the master one. And so this one in the center, I will set as primary one if it's possible in some way. And all the other ones will be like otherwise, not primary one. Okay, so for a to-do, I'll set for myself. Is it possible? Custom layout where in the middle it's identified as a primary one. Okay, what else does he have?
TYUI, they're all very alien if you're an i3 user. But I guarantee you, once you use this in real life, like to actually do stuff, you're like, wow, this is so much more efficient. It seems so silly to like manually configure where your windows are going, like manually say, oh, I want it to the left or to the right. It just seems pointless. Now, of course, in addition to all this layout stuff, you do have things, you know, for example, you have full screen, you know, that's super F on my build. Or if you press super shift F, actually, even before I talk about that, just in the default tiling layout, I can take any window, you can actually click, and clicking is very nice in DWM. You don't always have to use your keyboard. You can return them to the tiling arrangement with super shift space on my build. Now, additionally, as I said, there is super shift F. If I press that, it doesn't seem to have done anything. But now what has happened is basically every window is now floating, okay? You're in floating mode. And if I start a new window, it's going to appear here, right? So this is floating mode. Every window is floating. You can move them all around. So it's really just like a normie workspace.
For the custom layout, the floating mode approach would be to, as a script, instantly make the window floating and position it. That's another thing we can do. But what will we do with the other ones? With the other windows? How would we approach the other window? The other windows are like behind this one. That's an issue. We could, for example, make it so like, let's make here. Why is it like that? Why is it like? Okay. Let's bring it back. I was thinking of having a window on top in some way, but it should have something below it. I don't think that would be possible. Okay, we're close to an hour and a half, and we saw other i3 YouTuber for inspiration. It wasn't, we could have more YouTubers to see. Okay, so we can have check out even more i3 YouTubers. Like, it's really insightful to look at what they have to offer. And the last thing was to find i3 config examples on the internet. Let's do this quickly just to see. i3 config example. Here's the config file where all settings have namings. You can find the config on GitHub. Streamlined, if you want, for i3. Here. He has a user. Oh yeah, it's the actual user guide. What does this guy do? The mod I don't know what smod is. Setting font. Oh, he has like a global font settings. Gap width, gap height. He has this kind of global settings. That's one thing we can use. I can bookmark it. i3 config, and we can say use the bookmark config global variables in your own config. Yeah, that would be really helpful. So if I want to change the font size, I would just change one place. Terminal, browser, launcher, compositor. I think this is for like having the what's called like transparency. To like this guy that had transparency have the same thing. Where was it? Yeah, this transparency see-through effect, but we don't need it. I don't want it. What else does this guy have except the global variables? Oh, he has separate font for the bar. Why? Applications. Start terminal. Start a web browser. He has his own configs for launching applications quickly. So instead of just going like Windows D and Brave, he just has a like mod, shift, and return. Enter key to exec the browser. And then the browser is just like this global thing. Mod D, yeah, I use the same. Is the default one. A window compositor for effects like transparency. Yeah. Or full VSync. Yeah, the transparency. We don't need transparency. Workspaces. Define names for default workspace. Switch to workspace N. We have the same thing. It's the default thing. Move focus container to workspace. Window size. Move focus to window. Resize windows. Care about that. Yeah, the gaps. I don't think the gaps will be helpful, but we can try them. So we can try out different gaps and borders. Colors, bar. His bar is different than mine. Mine is Vim i3 config. i3 bar. Yeah, this thing. Look at how for me bar is just this. Status command i3 status. So it probably just starts i3 status. But his is different. His is all of these things. So we can do what can be done inside the bar. Okay, what else? Font, full screen mode, between tiling and floating. Restart i3, exit i3. Okay, yeah, we are done. We are done. We did everything we wanted to do. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this session. thank you guys for watching, and yeah, that's it.